Our final subject is Bungie's plan for the future. In the update, they kind of made some clarification. So last week, Derek Carroll had an interview with Eurogamer, and he made it sound like that all they're going to do is stuff like Sparrow Racing and Festival of the Lost.
More event-based content.
Yeah, more event-based content.
Kept it very plain. Nope, we got Sparrow Racing, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. And we're all like, what?
Because
Like,
he's
really?
not allowed to say anything else. Probably scared out of his mind not to say the wrong
Well, in
thing.
your interview with Deej at PSX, it was the same thing.
Yeah,
like,
Deej
we have no
also.
plans for the future.
Yeah.
You call media training.
Yeah, right.
But you're right.
But it backfired on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody's like, what? We're only going to get Sparrow Racing? Are you kidding me?
It was difficult for me to understand how players even thought that would be the case. Like, obviously, they're working on stuff. This is a huge
found
game
it hard
and a
to
huge
believe.
team. Yeah.
But no, they did make a mistake, which is it's December. Dark Below came out a year ago.
Yeah.
And you're not saying anything.
Yeah.
Sparrow Racing is an actual release. So naturally, the feeling is like, oh, I got Dark Below last year. All I get is Sparrow Racing.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were
So,
feeling that.
There was definitely an expectation for a big announcement.
That's right. So anyway,
So
whatever.
they clarified. They clarified.
that's right.
Eric Osborne on Twitter said, hey, 2016 is going to be great. We're working on stuff. Fun stuff that's still in development.
They could have left it there.
Sparrow Racing
But he
League
said a
is
lot
live
more.
today, though. We hope you dig it. Further down in the Bungie Weekly Update, he also said, we get it. Some of you were hoping we take the stage at PSX and announce the Dark Below 2 Darker and Lower. They didn't do that, but
$45.
yeah, they did clarify new stuff is coming, and here's where that quote is. The first of these early 2016 experiences will be on a scale close to Festival of the Lost. The second will be far larger than anything you've seen since the release of The Taken King. We'll talk about that in a second.
Clever use of words.
Yeah,
Eric.
and then there's also another significant update to the world and sandbox planned in the same window. That final quote gets me really excited.
Yeah,
the
'cause what does
world
that
might
mean?
change. You know, the sandbox, sure, they're going to retool some stuff, but could they do something like they did in World of Warcraft, where like the world gets destroyed
I think it's
and things look
location-based.
different?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is
Yeah.
I don't think like those art assets and the planets are so like those are big sandboxes. I think like changing them the way that Blizzard did in it was Cataclysm, where like the whole overworld that was previous like from the previous expansions got totally changed. I don't think that'll happen because that's just that seems like a
No, it would change
huge
strikes
endeavor.
and missions. It would
That would
change
be
everything.
amazing, though.
That
Oh, it'd
could
be
be a
super
year
cool. I don't think
too.
it's
or Destiny
realistic.
2, that is.
Well, also
Yeah.
like what would be the reasoning for that happening? I don't know.
Set it up for Destiny 2.
Maybe,
Like,
but-
there's something has to be a threat. You kicked everybody's butt.
Well,
so,
like in Cataclysm, a dragon came and literally wreaked havoc on the whole world. That's why it looked different. But there's nothing like that in Destiny, at least in my mind, that could like feasibly motivate something like that. But that said, I don't know,
Oryx's
that'd be really
father.
cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be really funny.
like the whole lineage.
Yeah. I do think it's going to be, like Fran said, like just a new location.
Yeah.
Or a new area of like an
something opened
existing
up or-
planet, you know?
So yeah, but so what I found interesting about this was they talked about last time there was a gap of 5 months and 10 days. There's very specific language on timing. So there's pretty much, as I understood it, saying it will be fewer days than 5 months and 10 days that we're going to get something, substantial. I think part of it is just saying, well, in January you're going to get the next festival, whatever it is. But it sounded like this substantial thing is going to happen before that time is up. Snake's calling you Snake. Metal Gear.
Yeah.
We always say that on my raid group every time we get gear.
Sorry to interrupt you, friend.
That's fine. Who called? Was it your mom? or
No
something?
idea. No idea. I'll leave it.
I'll just mess it around.
Let's just move on.
But anyway, so my point is, I think if you do the math, right, it came out in September. So, okay, October, 1 month, November, 2 months, December, 3 months, 4 months in January, in the middle of February.
That'd be a
That's
good
5
timeline.
months.
Yeah.
So maybe that substantial drop's coming before February 15th or around there.
Late January, early February would be
That's
cool.
basically before the end of February. I'm totally speculating.
Talking about that drop, though, they said the second will be far larger than anything you've seen since the release of The Taken King. But before that, the first one's going to be the size of Festival of the Lost.
Well, the qualifier
Yeah.
there is since the Taken King.
I was just about to
Yes.
say, let's talk about what they've done.
So
since
what have they
then.
done? Sparrow Racing League, Festival of the Lost.
Those
That's
are the
right.
only two.
That's it.
And,
so those weren't that big.
Well, challenge
you know.
modes. Okay, they did that.
Okay.
Hard raid came out, so
I
that's.
guess.
But those each were their own release,
Mm-hmm.
so it's going to be bigger than hard raid. Change. That was the change from normal, though.
Yeah.
So okay, it could be a change like that. But you get the idea. It's not like there's been huge releases since then, but they could be doing one of two things. They're being pretty reserved because, there's not any huge DLC type drops, because that's still, right, kind of one of the big questions is, are they working too hard on that next big full game release? Or is there actually a DLC, out there?
I would hope that it's a DLC. As much as I think Festival of the Lost is cool and Sparrow Racing is cool, like, to me, those are just like stopgaps for ways to change, ways to kind of give players a change of pace. But when I think of content and DLC, like, it's additions to the core game, which is new places, new enemies, new guns, new things to shoot and kill, and gear to acquire. And that isn't what we've gotten yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what's a little bit worrisome about the way that that's phrased, is if it's not a DLC, I would be kind of disappointed.
I really want some more story. I mean, we still don't know the final thing about the Queen, like what's going on there. There's a lot of questions left after the Taken King that I would like to see explored.
Well, and also they did such a good job with Taken King in storytelling and making the NPCs that you interact with like really cool and interesting and unique, with great dialogue and awesome cutscenes. And it's like, now that they've given us a taste of what they're actually capable of in that regard, that's all I want is more Cade, more the Queen story, like what's going on with her. Even Varix is getting a little bit more involved, and I think that that's so funny because he is the worst. But
yes, Guardian.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask
and of course, like
an airlock, Guardian.
And we had Eris, Morla on the show, and she was great in there. Like, I would love to see her do more in that. And
there's
that
tons
awesome.
of potential with what's laid the groundwork.
I think a lot of that's September next year. The next big release. Substantial release, right? The $65 release or whatever it is.
The Return King.
Yeah. And by the way, they, if you didn't catch it in there, they all but said that. I mean, I don't think it's rocket science, but you're going to get a full new release next year. It's not going to be a $45 release because that's what it's been up until this point. Taken King, remember, was not a full-priced game unless you hadn't owned it yet. So, but this could be that you have to buy the $60.
So, what do you think the feasibility is of this? Of there being a $20 or so DLC before we get that big Destiny 2 release or whatever? Very high.
Very high.
Yeah. So
personally, I mean, like, there's no way that they're just going to keep doing these little free things. There's going to be one big, exciting thing for the community.
At least.
I would have responded the exact same way if it wasn't for what the Eververse is doing right now and their strategy and obviously the revenue coming in from it.
Well, because they did say they were going to drip feed content, right?
Yeah. And so I'm kind of wondering if they're making enough now from Eververse that they're just going to release, because it becomes, right, to the audience, it seems now free, but in fact, there's other people now picking up the tab. So potentially, they might just release something really substantial that's not, I am getting a little worried, it's not, the language isn't exactly, there's the next big release. There's something. But like any company, you got to hold your cards a little closer to your chest to announce at the right time.
Yeah, definitely.
And they need announcements next year, so we're not going to hear anything for a little bit.
I talked to a lot of people at PSX, and we all kind of just felt like, Sparrow Racing, cool, where's the real announcement? And hopefully that's coming next year.
They said it themselves. Dark Below came out last year. That's what we all expected.
Yeah.
And again, that was a bit of the miss, is to say, no, it's just Sparrow Racing. But that was, wait, where's Dark Below 2? You're right. So I think, in January, late January, I would guess is when we'd hear a bit more.
Final thoughts here from me. I am super happy that Irk went out there and actually said something to clarify this. Genevieve actually reached out to us and was like, hey, we have stuff planned for next year, and we updated our story accordingly. Yeah. I'm glad they addressed that quote and cleared up that misconception, because a lot of the big streamers and stuff, they were like, really? Like, we're worried.
Yeah.
We want more to do in this game. We love this world and we want to continue exploring. I'm super happy that there's this exciting little tidbit that they've given us.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw it on Twitter too, but a lot of people are reaching out to us and being like, well, with
that's
no,
it?
Yeah, well, not even just that, but a lot of people were like, with no content coming from Destiny in 2016, like, will Fireteam chat even be a thing? And I was like, we're going to keep talking about the game.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, on that note,
there's always a carrot on a stick. Think about it. When has there not been a carrot on a stick?
Yeah, right.
It's coming.
We're going to wrap up the show there. I'm going to be out next week. I'm going on vacation.
Yes.
For the holidays. So one of you guys are going to have to helm the show. Right. You and maybe get Jose back for an episode.
The video guy's not back until next year, but
yeah, right.
We got old Brian.
Yeah, we'll take care of it. Exactly. Maybe we'll
definitely
have to have on a special guest again, like last time.
Oh, that's exciting. Cool.
We'll see.
Fran, do you have anything you want to plug before we head out?
Oh man, I'm hungover today, so I just want to know that I can do this.
Pulling back the curtain.
At our holiday party, exactly. No, as always, please drop us a review and get into the comments. You know, I always remind people that the conversation is too much. Why do you play this game? People are still playing this game. Why are you watching this video? So tell people what you're interested in. Have a conversation. I mean, that's why we do this. Honestly, we don't do this just to be heard. We do it to start the conversation and for you to have the conversation around it. Check us out on PS4, Xbox One, and our new channel, IGN 1, which is an always-on streaming experience. Sometimes it's live. A lot of times it's just quick fire VOD content. That's an easy way to sit back and watch stuff. It's still early. Give us your feedback there. But Fireteam Chat comes on the schedule sometimes.
And I'm super happy that this show's still going. You guys are still tremendously supportive, so thank you so much. I mean, the show's not possible without you guys watching it, enjoying it, commenting, and letting us know that you want us to keep doing it, which is why we keep coming back every week.
Yeah.
So
did we ever tell that story very quickly? There was someone who had reached out, but they weren't playing at all, and they gave up, and they listened so much to the show that they eventually had brought them back to the game.
Yeah.
But they were just listening for months and months about the game that they don't play anymore. That
bunch of the fans we met at PSX say, like, we don't even play the game, but we still listen to the show.
Which is awesome. So, thank you guys for that.
Yeah, thanks so much. Sean, anything you want to plug before we go?
Yeah, I did a really cool commentary about Eve Valkyrie, the PC-driven sort of first-person VR spaceship shooter with Ryan McCaffrey. It's live on IGN right now. Very cool stuff. It's on the release for Oculus. The retail release of the product feels really good, and the game is a really great demonstration of what's possible with that new tech. So it's really cool. It's all live on IGN right now. Check that out. Also did a commentary on the R8 revolver in Counter-Strike Go with Chloe, the most overpowered weapon to be added to any video game ever.
Yeah.
It's basically the Halo 1 pistol. It's better than the Halo 1 pistol.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's live on IGN right now, too. So check those out. And then follow me on Twitter at I'm Finnegan. I'm always looking for people to play Destiny and Halo with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's all we have time for this week. So until next time, Guardians out.